Okay, everyone, my name is Mr. Gears, and welcome to the first of hopefully many LEGO Transformer reviews. Now, these are custom LEGO Transformers I have made in a LEGO Digital Designer. If you don't know what that is, it's a virtual program you use on your computer, and you can build LEGO models and whatever. So I've made a whole bunch of these on here, and I want to show them off. So, this is LEGO Transformers MG001 Optimus. So, my take on Optimus is mine. All these models that you'll see, hopefully, are in my own kind of AU or alternate universe that I'm working on. And I use this as the kind of medium to make the designs. These are the basic ones. I don't know. I felt like I should share them. So just as a precaution or a warning or whatever the word is, these aren't based on anything in particular. These are just my own designs based on taking design cues from various other designs, stuff I think looked cool, and everything like that. These are just my own personal designs on these characters. Welcome everyone, my name is Mr. Gears, and welcome to the review of MG001 Optimus. Now, he is a LEGO Transformer I have created in my own kind of AU or alternate universe, if you don't know what AU stands for, that I've been working on. And so, and this is my own design, or my own take on Optimus, kind of taking cues from other designs all over the place. So it's not based on any singular design. You might see cues that are very similar to a G1 or a movie appearance, but and some other figures. But I tried to take those designs and kind of combine them into something I thought looked really cool and what I really liked. So, anyways, here is Optimus in his kind of Cybertronian truck mode. And so, also in my this all takes place in Cybertron. They don't go to Earth at all. Anything like that. I might do a video in the future, kind of running down the basics of my universe. But here is Optimus right now in his Cybertronian truck form. As you can see here, he's got the standard LEGO red as kind of his base red, and I used a dark blue for the blue instead of a bright blue. I felt like it fit better. There was more contrast there. You can see the translucent blue windshield and then side windows as well. Just kind of wrap around the entire thing. You can see the silver I used for the grille, as well as kind of the post that the front wheels are on, as well as on the side you have the two sizes of pipes on the side and some larger kind of cylindrical things on the inside, so he's not completely hollow on the back like he is on most designs. Again, you've got mainly a lot of red up here on the cab. It's like a block of it, and down there it's kind of a slab of blue carrying on throughout the entire bottom section. I use the standard, or the 1x1 flat tiles as the wheels on the front, and on the back you can see I use the just standard black studs as the wheels on the back, kind of covered up here, give it a more interesting look. And here's a look from the back, kind of empty, but there's still a space there if you wanted to make a trailer. You could put it there. I haven't made one yet, but there is no basic gray trailer for this Optimus. You see he's got also some sorts of like angles here on the back, kind of leading up to these cylindrical tanks or just cylinders. They remind me visually of Fall of Cybertron designs. They had the kind of cylindrical things in the back that would rotate and stuff. Cool. You've also got, see here, just as a side profile, you've got kind of almost this curved look going up to the front from the back. Again, it's very red, very Optimus Prime colors. And there isn't really that much to say about the vehicle mode. It's the vehicle mode. So again, these long exhaust pipes here, with some shorter ones on top, and some the grill and some silver silver and black wheels here. But again, this is just the vehicle mode. There's not much to talk about. It doesn't really roll because it's fake. So I mean, you could technically slide. Then underneath, it's pretty flat. You just got a stud here and a stud here, kind of keeping up stable. And then just as a comparison, here he is next to a standard Lego minifigure. Just so you can kind of see how tall he is. Just kind of comes up to about the chest level, just over with the minifigure. So he can leave. And so the big thing about these is that they don't actually transform in the traditional sense. They parts form. I think parts form is a valid form of transformation, especially and because of the size they are at, and what I wanted them to do, or at least what I wanted them to symbolize, or not symbolize, or like recreate. I want to recreate the visual appearance of a character. Like you look at them and be like, oh, that's Optimus Prime, that's Megatron, that's Ironhide. I want to really capture that, and I don't think I could be able to do that if I actually made them transform. Plus, the vehicle modes would kind of look all weird and wonky and all sorts of gappy and stuff like that. So I decided just to keep it parts forming, just to make it easier on myself. Also, kind of a challenge on myself as well. So let's just go into the robot mode. Okay, so here he is in robot mode. It's a very kind of distinct Optimus Prime look, I think. So you've got the standard head with the kind of horns or ears on top, and with the standard window on his chest with the grill below it. And you got the wheels in where they should be, kind of on the legs and in the middle of the chest. But some things look interesting when you move to the arms. They're not as blocky. The shoulders, they've got kind of a rounded kind of axle here, like stud here, a more rounded appearance with some kind of cubed shapes on the end. And then the arms themselves kind of extend out a bit past where it's kind of technically it's like perpendicular with the elbow, so it lines up with where the elbow is, but they go past a bit, which is interesting. Somewhere like the actual joint is. So then you have the actual like smaller windows down here on his legs, just on his thighs. That's where the smaller windows are. And the legs themselves, you're kind of bulkier, kind of larger, kind of bulk on the ends on the back of his feet. Technically, this is just kibble, but just kind of so that you can see just how it works here. And these aren't super complicated designs. They're pretty simple, all things considered. I mean, just watching this, you can probably recreate this easily. And then the biggest change in the silhouette department is his back, because he's got these giant tanks on the back, as well as here. So you kind of already have kind of a jetpack for flight here, giant tanks. And then again, these tanks. One of my favorite designs for an Optimus is the, I think it's the Voyager Dark of the Moon figure. It's either the Voyager or the Deluxe, but he has these giant tanks on his back. And I thought that looked really, really cool, and so I decided to give him the tanks as well, just to give him more of a unique silhouette. Again, it's Optimus Prime. He's got the blue legs and the blue hands, and then red is pretty much everywhere else. The back, again, he's got the blue kind of sections here that hold all the silver tank bits, the kind of boosters here, and then again, all the smokestack stuff up here. And then you got the blue and some blue in the chest as well. Just kind of break up all that red. You've got the silver, which is the same color for all the tanks, as well as here on the arms, the legs, the grill, the head, It's all the same color silver. Again, black here on the just for the wheels. So to kind of beef these videos up a bit, I decided to I'll give you guys some insight into these characters. So Optimus Prime here is a cop, much like his IDW 2005 counterpart. He's a highly ranking officer in the Cybertron Police Department, and he's risen through the ranks pretty fast. He's actually gotten the nickname of Pax. He's very humble, even with all the praise he gets, because he knows that if it lets all that praise get to his head, the next mistake he makes could be his last, both figuratively and literally. But that being said, he's not afraid to give praise to others, because he wants his friends to succeed. So, just a little taste of his character. That I do that just to help define these characters, as they are my own iterations of these characters. I love this franchise, so I just wanted to do something kind of new, at least, or new for me with them. And if you have any questions about this AU, I'd be glad to answer them, maybe in its own video, or whatever. So, again, here is just Optimus Prime in his robot mode. Now, I did give him a couple of weapons. So if we just come over here, we have his axe and his rifle. So the axe is kind of interesting. It's mainly just the translucent orange here, and some red and silver here, so that way when you put it on his arm, it actually blends in because the silver's in the right place. So if we just take this off and take this and just kind of put it on, you can see it just kind of matches. It is pretty big for an axe, but I don't know. I think it works. There's no other real way to make it smaller, just because of the parts I had to use were only so small. But there's the axe and the rifle as well. The black ion cannon, or ion rifle, I think is what it's called. He's got kind of the stock back here for shoulder support, big barrel, larger scope here, and then the handle. So that just kind of fits in his hand like so, and he can hold that as well. So there is Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And just for scale, here he is with a minifigure. So they're not super big. Again, you can kind of look at these and kind of pretty much assume what parts are where, what parts are used, and make them yourself. But yeah, there is Optimus Prime. But there is more. Like I said, there is more. So not only did I make Optimus Prime, but I have also made 8 repaints of the character. So the ones right behind him, Shattered Glass, and his combat colors. And you have Nemesis Prime, Grand Scourge, and Toxitron, and their Shattered Glass counterparts. So, I will go slightly in depth to each of these next, kind of a bit more faster than I did Optimus Prime, because again, they're all the same molding in parts, just in different colors. So let's just jump into that really quickly. Okay, so here's Combat Optimus Prime, which is the paint job he puts on when he's kind of in combat, or he knows he's going into combat, or he wants to go into combat without people really recognizing who he is. So this one, he keeps the standard blue on the legs and the head, and pretty much where there was blue, he pretty much keeps it, except for the kind of chest area. It's the dark blue, but instead of the base red color, of like the arms and chest, that's all replaced with the standard blue. And the red kind of accents where the silver was on the chest, with a lighter gray or silver over for the tanks and cylinder and exhaust pipe regions. Now this, and also a red, translucent red pieces for the windscreen and windows, respectively. So this color scheme is based on the canceled G2 combat hero Optimus Prime. Now more specifically, this exact color scheme I took from the Generations Combat Hero Optimus Prime, which is a redeco of the Laser Optimus Prime mold, but in these colors, or similar colors. And I really liked those color schemes, and I thought it would be cool to kind of input them here on my own figure. Now, instead of the axe, I gave him his sword that the figure actually comes with. He comes with a sword, so I kind of gave that to him. It's a pretty simple design, and I used the new kind of 1x3 pieces here, or 1x2 with the one stud on top pieces for the hilt, and you've got the sword there as well, and you can hold that in his hand, just like so. It's a sword, and the gun's the same. It's the same. It's just all black. Same gun exactly. And again, with the vehicle mode, you can kind of see it's a block of blue instead of a block of red. He's got black. The top exhaust pipe here is black, with all the rest of it being silver, and then all the red up here is just from where either the windscreen or the silver was before. I think this color scheme is really, really cool, really interesting. It would bring, it's a very interesting color scheme for Prime instead of his classic red and blue. Okay, and here is Shattered Glass Prime. Now, I did, in fact, do Shattered Glass repaints of everyone I've done so far, because I love Shattered Glass, I love the idea, and I want to do that for my own. So Shattered Glass Prime here is in his standard Shattered Glass colors. He is one of few that kept his regular Shattered Glass colors from the original series and comics, with the purple body instead of the red, the same kind of dark blue but with more black and darker colors, and a little bit of like gold and green. He's got green for the windshields and kind of all the translucent parts. Instead, same with the axe. He's got a little bit of gold on the arms. The silver is technically the same color. It looks a bit darker because instead of the red, he's got this kind of dark purple color, which looks really nice. And even some of the silver got replaced with purple. You can see the stuff here on the arms as well. The grill is no longer silver; it's a dark blue to match the rest of the chest area. Again, the back is the same. The weapons are the same, but in different colors. You've got the axe, the translucent green instead of the translucent orange, with the silver and blue on the back instead of the red. Again, guns exactly the same, it's just black. And then vehicle mode, just go over here, we can look and see that again, instead of the red it's purple. The silver is the same, the blue's pretty much the same, except it carries over more into here, and just it's all pretty much the same, just except for the color scheme. But this color scheme always will look really great, and it still looks really great here. So yeah, that's Shattered Glass Prime, Evil Prime. Alright, so here is Nemesis Prime, actual in-universe Evil Prime, or non-Shattered Glass Evil Prime, I should say. So Nemesis Prime here, he's the obligatory black recolor of Optimus. He is, of course, the Decepticon because he's evil. So he's got the kind of red windshield here, and he's mainly all black, but this time it's broken up with some dark gunmetal gray and teal accents on the shoulders, the arms, and the back as well. Even on the waist there's some, but again, a lot of the silver was replaced with this gunmetal gray color. The only one not was the head. Again, the axe as well. He still has, and it's just in a translucent red. and then the gun is in the gunmetal now instead of the black. But again, turning him around, you've got kind of the gunmetal area here, some teal accents. It's all pretty much like it's all black, and it's got some teal accents in the vehicle mode, and mainly all black. Teal accents with the red kind of breaking up the center up here. Now, Nemesis Prime Universe is not a clone of Prime in any way. He's his own separate. He's just a character who became obsessed with Prime, and became kind of wanted to become his kind of nemesis, which is where the name comes from, and kind of ended up designing him, making himself look more like Prime, to do so. So he's not. I know there were some universes like Prime, where it's an actual straight up clone of Optimus Prime, but this one's not. This one was his own character until he became obsessed with becoming Optimus Prime's kind of opposite, or nemesis, if you will. So that's Nemesis Prime. Just pretty quickly again, just black, teal, gunmetal gray. Looks really good. So here is Shattered Glass Nemesis Prime. And you notice Nemesis Prime never showed up in Shattered Glass. There was really no need for him, because Optimus Prime was already evil. But with this one, since he was kind of his own character and some kind of take, his color scheme is based off of Alita 1. Or the color scheme of my Alita 1 that I've done, which is mainly pink, kind of a magenta, kind of purple, with white, or bright kind of silver. It's kind of light blue windscreens and black accents here and there, mainly with the wheels. Because again, there are a few exceptions, but pretty much everyone on my Shattered Glass universe is a color swap of someone else on the opposite team. So again, he's an Alita 1. His color scheme is based on Alita 1. Again, you've got it's mainly just pure pink, and you've got the kind of darker pink elements on the shoulders here, on the waist, even in the feet, the lower leg regions, and then the kind of brighter silver for the tanks and the shoulders, and we've got the hands as well, and the kind of waist and lower legs. The guns, or weapons I should say, again just a black rifle, same as all the Optimus ones, and then the axe is, instead of the orange, it's the red. In this case, it's a translucent blue with just black on the other parts. Again, vehicle mode, just pretty much purely pink, and then a white or a light silver, I should say. Not very many accents here, just really the ones here at the wheels and the ones at the back. You can kind of see some poking out here on the bed, but otherwise it's pretty much just pink, broken up by the silver and blue. So that's Shattered Glass Nemesis Prime. So here is Grand Scourge, who's a redeco Optimus in black. He was very similar to Nemesis, but instead of the kind of gunmetal and red, he's got black. He's got the teal, but he's also has a lot of gold on him instead of the gunmetal. A little bit of white here, and then a sand blue for the windows. And he also has a unique weapon, which is this large sword here. Again, in black and metallic blue. Now, Grand Scourge himself is based off of the Unite Warriors Grand Scourge, which is based off of the Unicron trilogy Grand Scourge design, which is the black and gold Optimus. I really like the color scheme and the design, the idea of him, so I decided to add him into my universe. Again, the gun's the standard black, but you can see here he's the only one of them who has a solid color for the windows and windshield instead of a translucent color. And then you can see all of the tank bits here are, for the tanks and cylinders, are in a gold color instead of a silver. He's also got gold on the shoulders as well as the grill and then his feet here. And then he's got a bit of teal breaking up the arms, and then black on the legs and back here as well. Yeah. Just a really, really interesting color scheme to put on a prime mold, plus his large sword that can go in his hand. He can fend people off with that. Kind of almost looks like a giant butter knife, but that's fine. It's his giant sword he can wield and strike people with. Yeah, just black, gold, kind of a teal with sand blue windows. Pretty interesting color scheme. Okay, so Shattered Glass Grand Scourge is kind of interesting. He is based off of Delta Magnus, who is based on the Diaclone Ultra Magnus colors. So Grand Scourge here, again the Delta Magnus colors. So he's got kind of blue here for the windows, windshield, and then red arms and a head here with the kind of ears being in white instead of red, so they're a separate color. And then he's got black stripes kind of going up the arms here, the red on either side. He's got a kind of bright silvery white here for the tanks, the grill, kind of the legs, as well, the upper legs and waist. Got blue and black kind of all throughout the lower legs and torso as well as some dark gray here, kind of right behind the windscreen and then the connecting the shoulders. And again, the back is mainly just pure blue with the tanks in the kind of silvery white. The gun, black as per usual, and then the sword is red and silver with the black handle. Kind of almost an inverse of Optimus Prime, almost, with him mainly being blue with red accents, or red secondary. But he's got a lot more black this time as well, and some brighter silver. But it looks pretty interesting. I guess you could technically use this as a surrogate for Delta Prime if you really wanted to, but Delta Prime does in fact have his own figure. You're not Delta Magnus have his own figure. But yeah, it looks really, really interesting. So that's Shattered Glass Grand Scourge. Okay, so our last character from this mold is Toxitron. He is very unique color scheme, almost G2-like in its very bright neon colors. He's a very bright green and a very kind of pale purple with dark gray kind of breaking that up, and then a red windscreen as well. And he's got purple feet down here with the green kind of lower legs. And his arms have a kind of base green, and then the outside is all purple with some dark gray accents at the shoulders and right below them, just to kind of break all that color up. Face is dark gray with purple. Again, it's kind of just all over the place with the green and purple, just kind of intermixed pretty evenly. Again, on the back, a lot of dark gray, because that's instead of the regular silvers. It's just all dark gray with some purple accents there to break it all up. Again, on the back, these parts back here are gray instead of whatever usual color they are. They usually are the same color as the parts leading that connect them, but now they're just an actual separate dark gray. And the weapons themselves, a dark gray rifle instead of the usual black, and the axe is pretty much the same. I've just added a couple more pieces on the blades to kind of give it a more bulky look, just to kind of differentiate his weapons a bit more from the usual just standard axe. Again, Toxitron is really, really interesting color scheme, really, really bright and neon, and very interesting for a Decepticon counterpart for Optimus Prime, and it looks really, really good, I think, on this mold. So everything breaking it up, all the colors breaking each other up, kind of evenly spaced out, evenly spread out among the entire figure. And so we go on to our final repaint of this mold, which is, of course, it is Shattered Glass Toxitron, who uses the color scheme of Autobot 6 Changer Quick Switch. So he's mainly white, but he's got gray chest, red head with an orange face, not silver. White kind of all over the body and the arms, feet, all over the figures is a lot of white and spruced up, or not spruced up, but broken up by red and a light blue color. As well, you can kind of see tanks kind of interspersed between blue and silver and the gray. Again, just a blue and red on the back. A lot of white in the arms, feet, and then again the whole torso section is just purely gray, broken up by the blue grill and the blue windscreen. And the gun is in the same gray as the chest with the X similarly, but with the white on the handle and the blue kind of over top, kind of breaking up that gray. It's very, very interesting just how everything lined up, that this was the color scheme, the final color scheme to put on this mold, because it's not one that you would really think to put on an Optimus Prime mold. But again, Shattered Glass, I think it looks good. There could be some spots where it could look better, but I think it looks good. And just as a quick for the vehicle, here it is. I think it kind of loses some of it in the vehicle form, just because it's got the kind of just, it's all over the place in the vehicle form. I feel like there's no kind of combination effect here, or like really it's got the gray here and then it just immediately goes to the blue and the white, so I don't feel like it meshes as well. That's the word I'm looking for in the vehicle form. But still, this was Shattered Glass Toxitron, and that's gonna be it. That's all the repaints for MG001 Prime Optimus, not Prime Optimus. And I mean, they all have their own different kind of moniker letters at the end, which you probably saw during the video. But yeah, that's it for this video with all of the different Optimus Prime variants. Again, I'll put a thing at the end with all of them together again, just to kind of see how they all look. Just let me know which one is your favorite. Is there anything you'd like to know about this AU or these characters? I would gladly expand this AU more if you really wanted me to. And then I hope you enjoy this. I hope you're looking forward to what's next. Again, there are so many of these and so many I want to show off. So I hope you enjoyed and look forward to the next one.